Is a
like
kangaroo a marsupial?
Yeah, they got the pouch.
I saw the craziest video of a kangaroo boxing a human.
Oh yeah.
Have you seen that?
Yeah.
Got me fired up.
Yeah.
I watch it like before men's league.
They don't mess with those roos, man. They'll get you. What's up, everybody? Welcome to This Week in MLS, presented by Target. Susannah Collins alongside my guy, my partner in crime, Calen Carr. It's always so good to see you.
Always great to sit on the couch with you, Susannah Collins.
Yes, it's like our home, our home away from home. Although the studio is basically.
We do spend a lot of time
here. We put a lot of hours in here. It's getting that way. Guys, we always start out the episode with some viewer comments, and we got a treat for y'all today.
Wow.
Because the the only, Max Bretos says, thanks for inviting us into the living room.
Wow, is that the Max Bretos from LAFC?
From LAFC, I believe
YouTube broadcast?
I'm pretty sure that this is actually his YouTube account. So we're gonna say that that's the real thing. And right now, right here, I'm gonna say, Max, you can come into our actual living room anytime. It's an open invitation.
Right here, buddy.
Right here. We'll keep the seat warm.
We got a spot for you. It'll get tight and cozy.
Yeah.
And maybe a little awkward, but
probably,
for the most part, friendly.
And fun. Always fun. Most importantly, fun. That was great, though. It was pretty cool.
Yeah.
And he did tell me that he watches our stuff when I saw him.
He does. I thought he was just joking.
I did too.
But now
I was like, he's just being nice.
That's like a little added pressure.
I know. I was like, oh my God, Max Bretos, gotta impress him. Be on our best behavior.
ESPN, yeah.
Shall we get into it?
Let's do it.
Let's get into our Twim takeaways. I'm going to let you go first.
All right.
And I have a feeling I know what you're going to talk about.
Yeah, well, you know, this could be a dead giveaway for today. And I'm wearing my Columbus Crew SC shirt.
Yay!
Columbus Crew, big winners against Chicago. 3-0 in this one. And the story for me right now is Gyasi Zardes.
Gyasi Zardes!
Traded from LA Galaxy, of course, for Kamara. But he looks like a new player.
2 goals in this win.
He's got 8 now for the season. Leads MLS, by the way.
It's a little too early to start talking Golden Boot at this point.
Why?
But,
Why is it too early?
He's up there.
Let's talk. I mean, I think he has shown the consistency. Mm-hmm. He had 6 goals in the preseason. This team, the system is built to get him chances. And you're seeing now the difference from this year to maybe years past is he's not being asked to do things that aren't in his wheelhouse.
Exactly.
He's supposed to get in the box, excellent movement in the box, a poacher's finish, and some of the little moves that he makes as a striker, I recognize that I'm not sure everyone else does, where he makes a hard run, stops, backpedals, good footwork in the box. It looks like a simple tap-in, but the work he does to find that space in the box is really what's setting him apart. He looks really in form right now.
He does. I read an article on MLSsoccer.com about Gyasi and yeah, you know, familiar. But he was talking about his comfort level in Greg Berhalter's system, and it's exactly to your point. He's not having to do things that he doesn't. You know, he's being put in the best position for his skill set to just find space, finish, which is what he's been doing, and it warmed my heart because Gyasi Zardes, number one, is one of the nicest guys in MLS, and it's so great to see him having some success after a couple down years in LA. It was a bummer. You want to see him do well, and now he is, and it's great.
All the talk, I always see those guys on Mass Confrontation on our Facebook page, and they're always talking about the guys who should be up for Golden Boot, and it's always Joseph Martinez and Carlos Vela and the big names, and I'm like, hey. What about Columbus?
What about Columbus Crew?
Gyasi Zardes, represent.
I love it. Good. It was good. I'm glad we got to talk about Columbus
today.
And Gyasi. Give him some love. Okay, so time for my takeaway.
Let's hear it.
Big shocker. You guys, I was down in Atlanta last week for their game against Kansas City, and they lost that game 2-0. They lost at home, which was crazy.
Wow.
I was telling you, like, Mercedes-Benz Stadium, if you guys have ever been to a match there, it is crazy loud. There's about 45,000 people at this match, and it was the quietest that I have ever heard Mercedes-Benz. It was like they had no idea what to do about this loss. But fast forward to Sunday, they go on the road, they play Orlando, they walk away with all 3 points after a 2-1 win. And I was thinking about Atlanta, and last year we talked about them a ton. They're just one of the most exciting teams to watch in the league, that attack, obviously. But this year, it's like they are such a complete team, and I loved the response to the loss in Kansas City. They were angry. They were ticked off about that loss, and I think they felt they were done wrong by that red card. But to come back, win in Orlando, which is a hard place to win. That's a tough crowd that they're playing in front of. I just think that, number one, I mean, we can talk about guys like Miguel Almiron, who's having an MVP caliber season, Joseph Martinez, the addition of Barco, but now they're getting, defensively, they look a lot stronger. It's all kind of coming together. They're winning games on the road, which they weren't doing last year. It's, to me, in their second season in the league, for them to arguably be the best team in the league is pretty staggering.
Well, not arguably, they're at top of the table.
Yeah.
And you're right. I think the point you make about their difference on the road this season, that's the biggest thing that stands out to me. Orlando City hadn't lost in 6 straight heading into this one. On form. Atlanta United now has 5 wins on the road already this season. They had 5 wins on the road all of last season. So that's the biggest shift between this year and last year, and why they're at top of the table in Major League Soccer.
Top of the table. 25 points? Not too bad. Yeah. Not too bad.
Good math.
So there we go. Good on Atlanta. Well, speaking of Atlanta, as I mentioned, I was down there I was there for the game, but I was also there at the MLS All-Star game is going to be held in Atlanta. The MLS All-Stars will be taking on Juventus, and I got a chance to hang out with Waka Flocka and Edgar Davids, Juventus legend. And you know, we all know how much I love talking about soccer hair.
Yep.
Those two, their flows, next level, and we had some fun. Check it out. So this is such a pleasure to be sitting here with these gentlemen, and aside from a love of soccer, you both share something, which is fantastic next level hair. Look at this.
Did you just say nest?
The next level hair. Look at this. This is incredible. Yeah. So I want to talk about the genesis of your hairstyles and your dreads and how they kind of came about. What was the inspiration?
The inspiration was basically, I was already in hip hop, and you know, I was a big fan of Bob Marley and Marley's, you know, and the Rastafarian movement. So it was really political.
And what about you, Waka? When did the dreads start?
The haircuts got expensive. I lost 80% of the girls on my phone back then. It's like, you're so ugly with dreads.
No!
Swear to God.
And now look at you.
Yeah, I'm lit. I glowed up. Sad for them. My first hype man was my hair. Like, my hair actually
you
was
use your
my
hair as a hype man.
It is.
That's so smart.
It is. I definitely use my hair as my hype man because my hair was more of how I could express myself.
Like, what's the upkeep with it? Like, how involved is this? Or do you just kind of like wake up and you're just like, this is it. This is it. This is easy.
For him, but for me, it's like, woof. You have to like 1 hour and a half. You have to stay there, but it's like meditating. You know, you yourself. You're just sitting there and just calm, and you just
and you've been doing it for a while now, so you probably got it down.
Yeah.
But this is like your look. Your look as a player was so iconic with the dreads and the goggles. Like that. I mean, okay. So MLS All-Star Game is coming up. Juventus is coming over. When you were a player at Juventus, what would this experience have been like for you to be able to come to the States and play in front of, you know, it's going to be crazy, 70,000 people.
It's just amazing because, you know, we don't expect that crowd to come here and to be so fanatic.
Well, you guys are rocking it. You look great. Thanks for hanging with me today and talking some hair and some soccer. Waka Flocka, Edgar Davids. I still can't believe I got to hang out with those guys. It was awesome, and they got along so well. They had never met, and then they were just like boys, like right away. It was great.
You know why I think that happened?
Why?
Because of you.
Yes, I was the glue that brought everybody together. Oh, so fun.
Yeah,
so fun. Thank you so much to Waka Flocka and Edgar Davids for hanging out with me. It was great. Okay, Calen.
I'm sorry, I just love that we're like thanking Waka Flocka.
Listen, it was great. He tagged me in a Gram post, by the way. Yeah, I was like, picked up some followers.
Made it, yeah.
Cheers, Waka. It was pretty awesome. It's a big day for me. Calen, there's one other game that was on Sunday. We had quite the lineup on Sunday of games. They were all nationally televised games, by the way. But the one that the coup de grace, the one at the end, the culmination, LAFC were hosting NYCFC, and this one ended in a 2-2 draw. LAFC, in the same way I was kind of talking about Atlanta, I am so blown away by what they have been able to do in their first season of MLS. It's unbelievable. And yeah, they maybe, you know, you're a little bummed out that you didn't collect all 3 points because you had the late lead, but they've got what? They had a four-game home stretch and picked up 8 points. They're sitting in second in the West.
First, actually, if you count points per game.
So it's
less games,
I'm surprised, but they're a really good team.
No, I actually think they could have a chance to really win the West and potentially compete for the Supporter Shield.
You heard it here. You heard it here.
I think they might be able to do that. But this game, getting back to this one against NYCFC, was, after El Tráfico, probably the best MLS game I've seen this season, the most entertaining. Yeah. I know it's funny to say because it ended in a draw.
Yeah.
But it had that type of end-to-end stuff, great play. It had the big stars, Carlos Vela.
Oh,
so good.
Quality,
Gets his
man.
6th goal in this one.
Unbelievable.
He's primed for the World Cup.
Oh, yeah, he is.
Ready. I think he's going to be probably one of the more important players for the Mexican national team.
He is so, so good. And I got to give a lot of credit to NYCFC, though, because they grinded out that point, man.
Tinnerholm looked like he was died 3 times.
Well, and also, you know, think about they had lost 4-0 to Red Bulls the week before. Patrick Vieira was not happy after that game. And so I think for them to come all the way to the West Coast, pick up a point on the road, really, really fight hard for it, I think it was a good showing for
And give
NYCFC.
Patrick Vieira some credit because he took a lot of criticism from that match in the New York Derby, and he makes the right move bringing in Tajuri Shadi off the bench, who gets the equalizer late in this game. Not easy to sub off your captain, David Villa, and bring on Tajuri Shadi in that situation. He did it. It paid off for his team. Big point on the road.
Fun game.
Fun game.
Good one. It was a good one. Okay, guys, right now, we're going to let you steer the ship here. This is, and not because we're lazy, but because we want you to get involved more. So we're going to address some of our YouTube comments that we've gotten, starting with Brendan Moore, who asked, what can the San Jose Earthquakes do to turn their season around? Well, I mean, their game this weekend was a good place to start.
They snapped a 7-game winless
streak. On the road against Minnesota, they get the 3-1 win. We should talk about...
So, Brendan, we have your answer.
Yeah, exactly.
They need to be able to improve their form on the road. And this one, they came out with the right attitude, putting pressure on early. Eriksson draws the penalty in the box. And then you saw something new here, an interesting wrinkle. Chris Wondolowski coming on and making such a good impact on this game.
He was a game changer.
Doesn't give up on the first one, being able to provide the assist, and then what are you going to do? Steps up at the penalty spot. Never going to miss that one.
He's now at 136 goals on his career. He is only 9 behind Landon Donovan now.
I think he can do it this season.
I think he can do it.
I think he can do it this season.
So get better on the road and more Wando.
More Wando.
So that's your answer.
Wando.
Okay, let's move it along. Oh, we've got Andy Mekisic.
I think it's Mike Sick.
Mike Sick?
No, it's not.
Mic drops. Anyway, Sporting, top of the West, but yeah, let's not mention them once. Well,
Wow.
Oh, but what
that felt like kind of, was that a little passive aggressive?
It was totally passive aggressive.
Oh,
all right, Andy, I see what you're doing over there.
But yeah, you know what? I think that actually reflects well because his team had a little bit of that edge to it when they went on the road to Atlanta United and got a big result. And Daniel Shalloway.
Yeah, what a goal from that guy.
Homegrown player.
Heck yes.
Has emerged even further, taking the next step in his progression this second year.
Yeah.
And then what are you going to say? Timelia
and
on Kratz.
Ike.
Every time.
Ike Opara played out of his mind that game. He was everywhere. He was just bullish. Between those two, it was just like...
When I was watching that, I was just sitting there thinking like, these two weren't on the All-Star team. And I think playing against Atlanta United on that stage, national television in front of that crowd, those type of the performances,
those are the moments.
You can't overlook this team anymore. So Andy, I understand your frustration, and shout out to Sporting.
Yep. Defending goalkeeper and defending defender of the year. So there you go. You're going to be okay.
Don't be so defensive.
That's right. You're going to be good. Okay, we've got Caden Butler, who says, could you please discuss what Philadelphia needs to do in order to make the playoffs? Well, I'm just, let's pump the break. Let's focus on wins, which they got. They got a 2-0 win over Montreal over the weekend, which was good. This was, I think, their first road win in almost a year. Yeah. So they need to, same as San Jose, you got to improve on the road. And this game was interesting. They didn't have CJ Sapong and they didn't have David Akam. Yeah. Still crank out a win. But for me, like, you've got to get those guys, find a way to get those guys involved and get them scoring goals.
Well, I actually am going to take the other side of this one.
Bring it.
Long term, you have to get them involved. But right now, I think Jim Curtin made a smart choice, going with Burke and then also going with Marcus Epps. 2 younger players that really haven't had a ton of opportunities. And when your team is really on the slide, sometimes giving a guy an opportunity. I often was one of those guys who was just waiting, hungry to get a chance. And if you come in those games and do well, you might be able to keep your place in the team going forward. Now, Burke maybe a little bit over eager with the challenge, but I think that actually came from that type of mentality of just desperation, which is what Philadelphia have needed and lacked at times this season. So shout out to Jim Curtin for making the right moves on this one. Hopefully they can get some momentum going.
One day at a time. That's what we're saying to you. Okay, real quick, we haven't done a shout out yet, and so I just want to give...
I actually did. A couple. Yeah, you just don't notice because they happen all the time.
Oh, jeez. Well, I want to give a shout out real quick because we didn't have a comment about it, but I just want to give some love to my dude, Mauro Diaz, down in Dallas.
Oh, yeah.
Who had been benched for the last month, got the start in the 3-2 win over the Galaxy, had 3 assists. I mean, that one ball to Lamont where he just like crossed it right in front.
I feel like you were sitting there and you kind of like went up.
I did. I wanted to. Just wanted to get on the end of it and put it back in the net. I'm so happy for him. He's been one of my favorite players before the Achilles injury. He was so good, and now I'm happy that he's kind of finding his way back to form. So just
FC Dallas,
a little love.
One of the top 3 teams in the West, clearly biggest turnaround in Major League Soccer this season. Deserve a ton of credit. So
love it.
Yep.
That's my shout out.
That's it.
Cool. All right. About time, Calen. Hit that button.
Oh yeah.
Hit that button.
Did you see that?
It's like music to my ears. Oh. Music to my ears. All right.
Just beautiful.
What do we got? What do we got? Oh, this is Portland. No! Oh, I didn't want to see this again. Producer Polly, this is mean. I'm gonna have nightmares. What was this Chucky? And then it wasn't Chucky, it was Chucky.
Yeah, well, that's his nickname.
Chucky.
I think in Argentina.
I don't like
They
this
called him
at
because
all.
he was young and fierce and had that kind of like
That
edge to him.
That is the
bad pun,
stuff that nightmares are made of right there. And I don't enjoy seeing that. But
I don't know.
this is weird.
Keep Portland weird.
Keep
Why
Portland
not?
weird.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Get after
Why
it.
not? I think we've got one more.
But don't go too crazy.
Uno mas. Bring it on. Oh, okay, we're back in Portland.
Back in Portland.
Diego, what do we
Diego
got?
the God. That guy's
Guys
chugging
just
water.
chugging water. And what?
Oh yeah.
I mean, goals right there. Look at that.
Thirst.
You got to stay hydrated. It's important. What is he?
Can you buy that at the stadium?
I don't know.
That's
No,
incredible.
he definitely like smuggled that
When
in.
it gets over like 60 degrees in Portland, people are just freaking out. They're like, tank tops and
Tank
water,
tops-
man.
Or,
help me."
Calen, maybe it wasn't water.
Wow.
You know what
That
I'm
would
saying?
be
I'm just
impressive.
saying. I'm just saying. I am saying. Oh, that was
Yeah.
interesting. Good job. Good. Did you see that, Polly?
Yeah.
Calen, that's about it.
All
All we
right.
got.
What a fun show this
What a
week.
fun
That was
show.
Awesome.
It's a good week of soccer, though.
I mean, anytime you can start off a show with Max Bretos getting in your comments,
100%.
it's going well. And thanks to all the rest of the commenters.
Yeah,
for
you
great
guys.
Week in, week out.
This is what it's all about. So keep getting in there and ask us questions. Tell us what you want to hear. We want you to be in charge of all the stuff that we're talking about because we're not lazy, like I said.
And
We
you know, the shout out shouldn't be only ours too. So if you'd like to have a shout out,
give
to
some
somebody
shout outs.
else,
We'll
maybe-
put them up there.
Yeah,
I like it.
why not?
Why not? Why not? You guys also remember to download that new fancy MLS app because it's great and everything's right at your
and
fingertips.
you can also follow the movement,
Follow. Oh,
which
is
premieres this week. Thursday
long
is the
last.
premiere episode on
At
YouTube.
long
You'll be able to
last.
find it. It's definitely going to be hopefully in your feed on YouTube. So check it out.
Also episodes of BTW and Matchday Central and all that great stuff.
Always.
Always. You guys, thank you for watching. We'll see you next week.